Welcome back. Since you are here, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I just want to let everybody know we are now on all social media platforms. We just joined Spotify
and iTunes. And don't forget to follow us on IG and TikTok at WePod_WeChat. I'm saying it slow for a reason, so you guys know WePod_WeChat.
Yes,
please follow us.
We are growing. No more excuses. You can see us on your phone. You can hear us through your radio.
I got your back. I got your back. Radio.
Yes,
and on your big screen.
Whatever you prefer, you can join the
just
contact.
Listen. We don't care. Just listen. Just long as you are here, just listen. Last time we opened up the group chat, we gave y'all opportunity to ask us questions. T?
Hey, we got a few questions going on in this private chat. So the one we chose is, do you think your childhood affect your relationship with people?
That's a great question.
That's a very good
That's a really good question.
Let me think back. Childhood was a long time ago. Some of y'all gotta think back further than others.
Late 1900s.
I feel like it do. Your childhood is a part of who you are. Like, for me, my childhood is probably why I'm so guarded and I'm so protective of people. I grew up in a huge family. I naturally have a lot of sisters, so it's probably why I'm so protective over y'all. I see y'all as my sisters, and I'm so protective over my sisters. It's my mother got 6 girls and 2 boys, so I grew up in a really, tight, huge family, along with my mother kids, my sister kids, because my sister had her own kids, and then my aunts and my cousins. So I grew up, in a big family. I had a huge family dynamic. So I'm really like, I'm a people person, but only to the people that I choose to be that too.
That's true.
So, I feel like it kind of made me who I am today, but a lot of me growing also contribute to who I am today. My childhood, it's so hard for me I think I blocked out a lot of it. I really can't remember. So I'm trying to think back. Like, I have very few and far in between childhood memories. Like, I remember my kindergarten graduation.
I remember
that day like it was yesterday. Like, but I remember like playing outside, but for like a chunk of it, I think I blocked it out. And it's called something, I just can't remember what it was called because...
You repressed it?
Maybe. And I don't even think it was because I had a bad childhood. I feel like I had a really good childhood. Like, now I know what a struggle was, but when I was in it, I didn't know, it was a struggle. It was like, okay, the lights went out. Baby Loretta asked somebody to come turn it back on. Once everybody went to sleep, somebody was going up that pole. So we just got to play outside a little bit longer. Now I know it was like, a different type of struggle, but I think it affects my relationship though with a lot of people though. I'm not as open as I would like to be. I'm very guarded. By now y'all know, everybody know, I'm guarded. I don't play with my sisters, and I damn sure don't play with my brothers. If you think I'm coming for you by my sisters, baby, about my brothers is totally different. So I mean, for me, I definitely do think that it affected my, who I am today. What about you?
Yeah, I think your childhood definitely affects like your relationships because I feel like that's the groundwork of like relationships, like
foundation
how
of you,
how you interact with people. Like, if you needed to, like, either respond out of trauma or if you needed to respond out of like love or whatever the response was, it's like how you were groomed to look at things and how you were raised and what environment you were raised in. It kind of like pours into everything in your life, not even just your relationship, but into everything. And like, it's just your being of how you are. But I could say for me, my childhood definitely affects like my relationships. Like, I was very like now I could say I was very scared as a kid. And it always came out as like anger. So people would say, Keita is mean. Like, everybody in my family would say, Keita is so mean. But it wasn't like, it was a defense mechanism. I wasn't mean. I was scared. I had, like, you have a lot going on. So it's like as a kid, you don't have too many ways to respond to things. You either going to be sad, you're going to be angry, or you're going to shut down. And for me, it was just like, I kind of shut down a a little bit, but I was more so like mean and angry. And that translated into my relationships because I felt like I could talk to people any way I wanted to. Like when I would first like start dating guys, it's just like, oh, that's just how I am. I talk with an attitude. I roll my neck. I roll my eyes. And that's just me. But that's not you. It's just who you made yourself to be because of the things that you dealt with, the ways that you felt growing up, the things that you had or didn't have, that you saw or didn't see. So it was just like, for me, yes. It's like now I had to relearn. Like, I love my relationships now because I'm not that person. Like I had to retrain myself to be more open, more loving, more understanding, more nice. Like I am mean sometimes, but I'm not as mean. Like
Tootie.
I have
You're
that.
not
Yes,
mean.
I'm a Virgo,
You
so
soft.
it's like I'm a Virgo, so my attitude kind of shift a little bit. You know?
Me too.
You know the vibes though. You already know.
I ain't.
Sometimes I could be the sweetest person. I could be the meanest person.
That's true.
That
But-
is very true.
That's true. I agree. with
But
you.
I feel like a lot of it, like realistically, came from like my childhood.
That was good. I feel heavy. Like my chest, like I can hear my
She
heart
gonna be
beating.
crying by the end of this. Tanya gonna be crying by the end of this episode, y'all.
Like, oh
Disclaimer.
no tears, happy tears, happy tears. I feel like my childhood affect my relationship with people because I feel like I was groomed to condition. Like I'm always looking like, oh, maybe it's not this. Like I'm always looking for the good in somebody because my life I had a lot of fillers. Like I wasn't raised with my mother and father, but they was in my life. Like I look at it like I was blessed to have two set of parents, the ones that birthed me and the ones that raised me. So I could look back and be like, oh, I'm mad because I wasn't with my parents. But, excuse me, I had my grandparents. So on the Cosby, when we were young, we looking at a TV show. I have that, but it's a filler. So it's fulfilling me for that moment. So I'm always like, even I had a bad side, I had a good side. So I didn't pay attention to the bad side. So with my relationship with people, I'm always trying to like, oh, Yaz act like this. Well, maybe she act like that for a reason. It's not that she just act like that. Like I'm always trying to condition somebody else's behavior because I was conditioned to my own behavior. And I didn't realize that until now. And it's like, I don't know if, like I always ask Keita, like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like, why I'm not angry I didn't have my mother or father right there when I needed them? Why I'm not mad at them? Like, why do I feel like I'm fine? And it's like, even though like I am fine. It's because I had, like, if I didn't have my brothers, I had my cousins. I still had that family. I still had the Cosby. I had parents that worked. I had cousins that filled in as brothers and sisters. So it's like when I'm around and all my friendships, like I take it in because it's like, why be?
Okay. All right. I got you. She's very emotional when it comes to her childhood and her family. But, you know.
It's like I don't go by it being angry. I just feel like even now, like when I try to look at like, even on social media, we have filters for a reason, because we don't show our true selves.
Right.
Growing up, I never showed my true self because in part of me, I was hiding it. But for whatever reason, but the other side, the pretty side, how it look on the outside, like, oh, I got this big house, I got family in it. I want the pretty stuff. Mm-hmm. Instead of the raw, ugly stuff. It made me conditioned not to look at it how I was supposed to look at it. It made me, even with putting conditions on it, it made me, my parents loved me unconditionally, but I couldn't understand that and give it back because I put conditions on the love that I had for them. And I feel like
one thing
love
about
hard.
it, though, I don't care who is there. Nobody can take the place of a mother. Those fillers only last for a moment because when you gotta lay down at night and you want your mother, I don't care if you got your grandmother, I don't care if you got your aunt, your sister. If I want my sister, I want my sister. I could talk to y'all and I could, let it out or whatever, but I'm not gonna feel good until I talk to my sister because, she understands how I feel.
That's true, but I think that part kind of relates to the person. I don't feel like that could be true, but sometimes the fillers could be more to, not far as like taking the place, but you could just have a different bond with the filler more so than you have with your actual person. So it's like a lot of times a person would say, well, why does this person cling to a stranger more than they cling to a family member? And it's like, it's just different. I always got Keita treat her friends better than she treat her family. But the difference, what it was for me is that I was showed more. And it's not that it's bad.
That is,
and it's not that my family didn't love me or people didn't love me or they meant less to me. It's just that you pour into what pours into you.
Right.
So it was never like, and some people scale it that way. Like, oh, well, this person should, like, it's kind of like people feel like you should have a set pedestal for family in a sense. And I do get it, but family for me and love for me is who shows that. Right. So it's not like, oh, just because you're like my brother, you have this set, you come before everybody. It's really not a person that come first or last. It's just that you prioritize who prioritize you. So I understand what you talking about, because growing up, me and Tanya grew up in the same house. I never understood why she never was mad, and I always was mad. I was always was mad, like especially at my mother. Like, so I always was mad. So it's like. But
that don't mean you didn't want her.
But like Tanya said, her feelings was good enough for me. I didn't want her because of how she was. Right. So at that time, it was just like, yeah, that's my mother. But I know what my mother is like because my mom dealt with substance abuse. So I know what it's like to have a regular mom. I don't want her like that. Right. I don't want to feel her, but I don't want her right now either. Right. I want what I was raised to have when I was younger. So it was like, I don't want her either. But I also was like, I didn't look at, like Tanya could say, like how she looked at the grateful side. I didn't realize that grateful part until I matured as a person. So it was like, you didn't have your mother, you had your father like for a certain period of time, and then he was like taken away, he went to jail, whatever the case may be. But you never went to bed hungry. You was raised in a big house. Yeah. Your grandparents took you on vacations. Like, y'all did stuff.
You didn't miss out.
I really didn't miss out, but for me it was just like that. Right. So the filler for her, she looked at the filler in a grateful sense. I looked at the filler like it just was whatever to me. It's like you going through the motions. And I don't know if it was like I didn't feel entitled to have those things, but I didn't recognize the blessing in those things, because in my mind I constructed those things to be a different type of way. Not necessarily with my mother and my father, because I never really cared for my mother and my father to be together. It was just like, you would want that just a little differently.
That's true. But when I say it's like I wasn't angry, but I still put conditions on the love for my mother, because my mother also dealt with the same thing. So it wasn't like, it's like my expectations for her was so high that maybe then I tried to justify it. Once again, I'm like, well, maybe it happened to her because of this, or maybe it's like this. But deep down inside, when I cry in the dark, I still want my mother. I still wanted you. But when the lights come on, I have them.
Right.
So it's like certain things, because I wanted her to be so great and she couldn't meet my expectations. That's why I felt like my love was conditioned. And I just tried to be like, oh, well, she'll figure it out. She gonna know. Like, if she see me, I'm not mad, but I'll just stand back a little bit until she's strong enough to figure it out. I never shut down, gave her attitude. I just stepped back.
Oh, Tawana got all the smoke, baby.
I didn't do that. Like, to me, what's the point of being disrespectful and nasty? I just be like, I stay home. I stay at my grandmother's house. Like, I just wouldn't want to be bothered with it.
So because she didn't meet your expectations, that you feel like, first of all, you feel like it's okay for you to put that on her as a child?
Then it
was valid.
Yeah, but now I don't. As a grown woman, I don't feel like it was valid because it was wrong.
I think we all have expectations.
That's what breaks my heart. That for so long, because my expectations were so high, that it made me.
I don't think nobody can meet your expectations.
It made me feel like, well, like it like I couldn't see her as a whole.
Right.
When as much as I wanted to or try to find reason to, it's like I couldn't. Because, and I'm like, how fair is that?
Right.
We all have struggles. And I didn't know, you don't know that as a kid, like, oh, struggle. It was a reason this happened. And it's like, I don't know it, but I tried to be like,
But far as expectations with parents, I feel like we all have those expectations. You all have the expectation, for the most part, of like your mothering, your father being a father. Like you have those expectations.
I feel like my expectations was on the eye, right? And it sounds so vain. But I wanted you to look a certain way. I wanted you to dress a certain way. I wanted you to act a certain way.
You want her to show up how you saw her.
Like, no, I wanted, to me, the TV, like, everything is like, that's how a family should be. Yes, like, oh, you should have an off, like, you should work a 9 to 5. You should just do. In reality, it's not like that. Mm-hmm. So, and one time she really told me when she said she felt like I didn't like, that broke my core, like, wow. Did I shut down that much to make you feel that I don't like you? I said, I do like you. Like how, and I felt selfish for feeling the way I felt. Like, I that wasn't my intentions. I don't want you to feel like I don't like you because I do. I just want you to see you how I see you or wanted you to be.
I'm happy you said that because if we can go back to the very first episode, I told you that exact same thing. Ain't it funny how them tables turn? I told you I wish you can see you how I saw you. So do you put those expectations on you, the ones that you put on your mother when you were a child?
But at the same time, not being able to see them, how can I see myself? My vision was blurry. Like I told you in the beginning, my feelings like I wanted to look a certain way. I wanted to be a certain way as I got older.
So is it an image or that's just what you wanted?
I think it's more so.
She watched a lot of the Cosby Show.
I think it's more so the image or how it looked. That's why I say it sounds so vain. Like I like to see moms and daughters or mother and sons go out and do certain things. I am grateful that I still have my mother to this day. I am grateful that we could still sit on the phone and talk. I am grateful that I could give her a hug.
I am so jealous of all that your gratefulness.
She know that I love her. And it's okay. And it's okay to be who you are unapologetically.
Absolutely.
And I want her to know that it's okay.
She watched and she comment
she definitely
and she subscribed. So trust me, she knows.
She got it right. But I honestly feel like our childhood was fun. If it wasn't anything, which I feel like why we have so much fun now. We had fun as kids. Like we were in a child's place. These kids are missing out on so much right now. We walked up and down the street and, we did kid things. We went to the park. We had such a good time.
But I feel like for us, the only reason we were able to have those things is because of where we were. I feel if my grandmother didn't take us in, I feel like we wouldn't have had a childhood because who would have? Mm-hmm. Like we would have been stuck. Like I always say my grandmother is an earth angel. Because if it wasn't for her, like we probably wouldn't have been in school. We wouldn't have been nothing. Because my mother, like Tanya said, when your parents is out there doing stuff, they're it's not selfish because they're dealing with their own. It is selfish, but it's like they're dealing with their own struggles. How can they parent properly? Mm-hmm. So it's like I feel like the reason we were able to have a childhood and were able to have structure and love and things like that is because like we was taking it into an environment like with my dad, with my grandmother, things like that. So I do agree. Like I can say I had a good childhood because we had loving family who brought us in. And then it's like we had Tanya, we had all our other cousins. We was raised in a house with a bunch of kids. It really looked like a damn orphanage. Like it was crazy.
My dad was there too.
But we always had what we always had what we needed. Even when we struggled, it was like God made a way. Like it still was going to be what it was. So we had the luxury to not have those stressors of having parents. Like a lot of people had to go through those struggles with their parents. Like my mother didn't have to drag us necessarily through her stuff. And it's a lot of people who didn't have that luxury.
Yes, but I feel like back then they kept us in a child's place. Certain conversations, you wasn't sitting down while auntie and grandma and them was having a conversation. You had to go upstairs and play. You had to go outside in the backyard. Oh, baby, you had to take a nap back then in 87. Like,
baby,
these are certain things.
Make me take a nap right now.
And I appreciate that. Like, I appreciate being in the child. Like, these kids don't know how to stay in a child's place.
Right.
I think everything, instead of being explained to us, the one hit a quitter, that's gonna make you grown, or that's for grown folks, or that's too grown. Like that's the only thing you normally heard back then. Like everything was too grown when you really didn't understand. But how is it grown? They didn't tell you that part. Just know it's for grown folks. It's grown. You go upstairs or in that backyard. You got a choice.
Right.
So is it that it's grown, or is it that new parents, meaning my age group, ones that have kids who, I have an 18-year-old. So, you know, is it that we're allowing these kids to be privy to, you know, adult conversations at a younger age? At 14, 15, these girls look like their mother. It's like these parents are, in my opinion, living through their kids. Like, I couldn't wear crop tops and Daisy Dukes and 22-inch weaves and nails long. Like, you don't know the child from the parent, and a lot of times parents are posting their kids in that light. Baby Loretta would have never. She used to cut my weave packs in half, and then another half, I used to beg Kiana to please make it a little bit longer. I used to be like turning my head a little bit just to have a little bit longer.
Preschoolers be having long braids.
Sure, we was in a child place. So I honestly feel like it's easier for these kids because their parents allow it.
I feel like, but I feel like that, like to answer the question, I feel like that kind of relates to their childhood, could relate to that too. Because not for nothing, a lot of the parents who do have their kids privy to certain things, have their kids in lashes, have their kids dressing,
they're in overdrive.
They are in overdrive of things that they didn't have.
Yes.
So it's like my kid is gonna always have designer this. They're gonna always look this type of way. They're always gonna be this type of way because I didn't have. So I feel like a lot of that stems from childhood, and then it just becomes the culture of kids. The kids are going to be privy to a lot of things because it's a different time. It's a different world. They can learn everything from their phone. Right. It's not really too much you can filter your kids from nowadays, because if they don't see it on their phone, personally, they go to school with other kids who have certain things. So I feel like that kind of ties into, especially in our culture, in Black culture, it plays into I didn't have, my kids, they ain't got to get it out the mud, they ain't got to do. And a lot of times they don't understand that that's detrimental to their kids because they don't learn. Like, one thing I don't do, I make it a point to teach my son, you're a Black man in a world that's not going to give nothing to you. And I always tell him that. So you don't have the luxury of not knowing how to work a little for something. To be honest, you got to work a lot. But because you have a mom who can you don't have to work as hard. But he don't ever have the luxury to think that he could just go out into the world and get the things that he just wants. Because we wasn't raised like that. We had to, even if it was just doing your chores, you had to do your chores before you go outside. That's things that you set, those things set kids up to know you have responsibilities. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I still personally try to instill those things.
Old school values with new school rules.
Right. I don't look at it like, well, I didn't have. When it comes to child rearing, for me, I always look at the things I did have. Like, okay, I had love, I had structure. I look at it a little bit far as like, open space. I always feel like even though we were good kids, we didn't have that space to say what we wanted to. Like, me and my son talk like a lot. I feel like we have a really pretty decent talk life. Mm-hmm. But it's like, okay, I'm gonna set that because I didn't have that. But that's like the only thing. Far as like material things, like, no, you're not walking around in $500-$600 sneakers and you ain't got no job.
Baby, your nephew want products for prom. I told my
I will say for something like I'm gonna be honest. Something for like prom. Yes.
No.
For me, I'm just saying.
One time, I could see if he was a kid that likes to get dressed.
No.
Oh, okay.
My son is not a kid that likes to get dressed.
True.
He wear hoodies, Jordans, and basketball shorts all year long if I let him.
For prom or something like that, I wouldn't mind. But on a regular,
you know how many hours I gotta work to make $850? I don't know. I never did the math. But baby, I am not about to put $850 on your feet.
But don't he work?
He want his mother and his father to buy it. Now he buy it, I'm 100% okay with that. So I don't feel like it's a necessity. I mean, for what?
But he wear $300 hoodies.
And he buy them. That's the problem. I have no problem with you supporting your own habit because your parents support theirs. But baby, when you want him to come into our pocket, I can get you some shoes, but they ain't gonna be $850 products. Them shoes gonna get you to that same prom. You gonna kick around in them and you gonna throw them on the side of your bed next to the ones that you don't wear. So for me, I'm not doing it.
I would do it. My son will be in the house dancing around in the damn products. He can Rashad gonna be in the park dancing. He gonna be doing something.
He gonna play basketball in the products. That's how proud he gonna be to have.
Don't feel bad. I'll go buy me
but
some.
No, I do get what you're saying though. That makes sense.
Absolutely
that makes sense.
I can afford them 100%. He can't.
Right.
Yeah.
He can't afford them. I could afford them for him, but I'm not.
Agreed.
I could think of 850 other things that I could get you that's going to last you much longer than that one pair of shoes.
That's true.
So I don't feel bad at all, because let me explain something to you. Loretta ain't feel bad. She had to buy 8 kids plus some other kids. The houses that you were referring to was my house. My mother was the one that opened up her door and everybody came to our house. So at that point, it wasn't your turn. You know, you had to wait your turn. When it was time to get new shoes and new clothes and things like that.
Right.
So right now, it ain't his turn to get $850 shoes. I feel like he got to work a little bit harder. He got to get a little more stress under his feet. Boy, your feet too pretty to go in some products. You ain't had a hard day yet. I feel like he appreciate them more when he paid for them himself.
That is
true. So that is some value behind it. He like, oh, I want these. Why? Because they cute?
That is
Why?
true.
Because they look good?
But for that, I would splurge.
Well,
if he wanted for prom or something,
he wears size 12.
I said Rashad, like I can go half. I'll go half with him.
That's 3 ways right there, yeah.
Can I get this in
No, I would help him because that would be his graduation gift. But what I'm for an occasion like that, yes, because my son is very minimal. So it's like something like that. It's like, okay, like I'll let you shine for a day. I feel like you deserve it. But if you think you're gonna be walking around that all the time.
What do he do to deserve 800? He's what? He graduating?
Yes.
Baby, you were supposed to.
That is true, but you should also celebrate the accomplishments.
Congratulations, you did what you were supposed to do.
I agree with that.
That is true. That is true. But Tanya, didn't we just have that conversation
Grandma
on
was
how?
Not buying you no products
you're right. But didn't we just have the conversation on how, like in this season, I accomplished like a lot, and I don't even know how to celebrate myself.
Yes.
Like I passed my counseling exam. I got my master's degree.
Absolutely.
Like I got a new job.
You deserve
I feel like
celebrated.
But you know what the sad part is? The way that I look at that is just like you said. I don't even feel like I have the luxury to enjoy that because it's something you're supposed to do, right?
You're not supposed to get your master's. Who said that?
I feel like you're supposed to be accomplished. You're supposed to do something.
You accomplished. You took an extra mile.
That is true, but I feel like for me, it's like, okay, well, you about to be 40 years old. You're supposed to do. Like, I'm just telling. No, what I'm saying is that.
What kind of I say? Damn.
Yo, stop making me laugh, because I'm trying to have a serious moment. Wait,
I'm very serious. Damn.
Sis over there.
Honestly, like, you literally did what you wanted to do.
That is very true, but I also feel like if you want something in life, it's just certain things you're supposed to do. So I feel like and just the childhood just keep coming full circle. I feel like a lot of times I don't celebrate. I can celebrate other people way faster than I can celebrate myself. But I feel like I don't celebrate it because in my mind, in my head, it's like, that's what you're supposed to do. You get A's, you do. That's what you're supposed to do.
Well, that's why you say it's easier for you to celebrate Rashad, because, like you said, you can celebrate other people. It's just you just don't see your accomplishments.
Yes,
as something
but
big.
Right, and that comes from me feeling like being instilled in us, because we always, if we came home with A's, you know how people come to school. Yeah, I got $10 an A. Nah, that's what we supposed to do. Exactly. Like we couldn't say that we got special things for grades or for accomplishing anything. It's just like, oh yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. It wasn't like a hug, congratulations, I'm proud of you. And I feel like a lot of times
keep up the good work.
Right, but you strip people away from just that encouragement of wanting to do. It's like we all want to be acknowledged for things that we do, just in a small sense, even if it's not on a grand
$800 products is not.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying.
You're not about to say that.
No, I'm not saying for that.
I feel like a graduation, the high school grad, it's a big step. It's the first big step that you're gonna take in life.
You ain't about to step in them $850 products.
But I feel like you should be rewarded for that. But $800, I don't know.
Absolutely.
But I think you should be rewarded.
$800.
And now you got something to look forward to. Like, you've just finished high school. Now you can move on and do something else. Right. And as you grow, I can celebrate you. If I give you all this in high school, you won't have nothing to look forward to in college. Like, yeah, my mother just got me this.
So here's the thing. I can give him $850. I could promise you he won't go and buy them shoes with it. He gonna go and buy 850 other things that he feel like he want or need. So for me, it's not, I don't feel bad for not giving him all the things I did not have as a kid. I don't have that guilt like, oh, I want to make sure my child has everything I never had. Because one thing I did have, I have great memories. I have, I have a great mindset to know that I'm supposed to work and do what I want to do. I installed in him like, these grades are not for me. I want you to have that for you. Like, you are supposed to be happy with that. And if you're happy with the D, okay, I'm not, but I need this to be for you. You can't do it all for me. When he was in elementary school or whatever, once he got to high school, baby, you are starting this journey to start the next step of your life.
That is true.
You are in control of your life. I am going to root you on, but either way, you are in control of this journey.
Right. I feel like as kids, they don't see it like that just yet.
No, absolutely
they don't
not.
see
All
it just like they feel like they accomplishing school for us. Right. They feel like they doing it for you. Just so my mother could be quiet and stop talking about.
That's why I tell Rashad teachers, don't call me.
Oh, baby.
Call him. Do not call me.
Telling him that.
I understand. Ma'am, you talking to the wrong person. I'm not in your class.
I am not in your... Baby,
like,
been
so I feel like those are things that you do have to teach kids early on, too. Like, as life goes on, like, you're going to be on your own.
Absolutely.
I'm just here to help you set the foundation, but whichever route you choose to take, it's like, that's on you. If you choose to be irresponsible, that's going to show in your life. Like, if you choose to not put effort into shit, that's going to show in your life.
Right.
So it's like, only thing we could do as parents is set the foundation, because while there are parents out here buying them everything, what did you instill in them?
My point exactly.
It's like you bought them, like they fly. They look real good. They pictures is really cute. Right. But what did you instill in them? Like, after that, then what?
It's the ones that got products and ain't even gonna graduate.
Hello,
baby, you invested in the wrong thing.
Yes,
I'm not for the look.
Yeah.
Like, if he wasn't graduating and he wasn't doing what he needs to do, he wouldn't even be going to prom. What we celebrating?
No, we don't celebrate failure.
Celebrating?
You don't celebrate failure.
I set my son up a long time ago to put him in a situation because I knew 18 was coming quick. So I put him on all my credit cards. I put him on my car insurance. And I never told him none of this. My son's credit is really great right now. So he came to me like, oh, Ma, I want to get a credit card. Baby, you already got 2. So those are the things that I did for him. He like, oh, price before I tell him that, he's like, well, I'm like, no, you don't need it. Da, da, da. He's like, well, you got to let me make my mistakes. Oh, okay.
Now he grown. Now he grown.
Guess what I did? I said, go right on ahead, and I got them 2 credit cards in my top drawer. I mean, I want you to do it your way. I try to do everything I could for you to do it the right way, and you don't have to go the hard way or, go through the struggle and go through those things. You want to do it your way? I'm going to tell you, my way is a little bit easier. But one thing you got to do, especially he's becoming a man, I'm going to let him go out and be the man. So when he come out there and he ain't doing right, don't blame his mother. Because his mother tried to tell him. He want to take this route on his own, but he's a great kid, so I know he's not going to, go too far off of what I've installed in him. His father and I do a great job with keeping him grounded. Y'all both have great kids. So, it is what it is. I hope when, tables turn and they sit and they be on the couches talking about us, they don't be like, yeah, my mother did. Baby.
I know mine is. Boy,
oh, yeah, for
he gonna talk about how mean his mama is.
Rashad love a good struggle story.
Yeah, my son, yes, he do. Yes, he do.
So bad.
He want to struggle so poor kid.
With that being said, my next follow-up question is, if you could go back, what would you tell your younger self?
Slow down, sis. You don't gotta be grown. Your childhood go really fast. Take it all in. Stay in the child's place. I am ready to be in a child's place. Please, I wish I can go back home. I am ready to stay in a child's place. I would tell myself, stay at home as long as you can. I moved out when I was 17, 18 years old.
That's young.
Right. I moved out and I never went back. So I honestly feel like, I would tell myself to slow down. It is nothing out there. It gets very old very fast. I feel like I don't want to go out or do anything anymore because we've been doing this for a very long time. And we're not even that old. But I just feel like we've been doing it a long time. So I would definitely tell myself, slow down, take it in, remember it, enjoy the moment. Because as I said earlier, I don't remember a lot of stuff that I've done. So I would tell myself to take it all in, enjoy the moment. I was just living. Matter of fact, I was just existing. I wasn't living. I was just going with the flow. And that would be what I would tell myself, to take it all in, slow down, and enjoy the moment.
That's good. So I'm gonna go Waikita processing this. So I would tell myself, I would fill myself up with a whole bunch of affirmations like you're beautiful, you're smart, you're kind, and as
annoying.
You get,
don't forget that.
As you get older, as you grow through your journey, there's going to be speed bumps, and the speed bumps is not to stop you from your destination; it's just to slow you down, because you don't have to get there, like you said, so fast.
Right.
Everything is going to happen. You're not going to understand why it's happening, but it's going to happen. And each speed bump, you're going to learn a different lesson. And it's okay if you fall, because you're going to get back up. And it's okay. You're not going to understand why you look different, why you have these spots on you. And you're going to grow. And each spot going to grow into a beautiful beauty mark on you. You may get teased in the process, but it's okay. Because those tears that you cry in school, you're going to turn into jokes. And it's okay to be who you are. Unconditionally, God created you uniquely beautiful for a reason. And you his favorite child. It's okay. You dope. You're going to discover it when you turn big time, okay?
Hey, I'm over here like
big
a
time, not the little one. Big time, not the little one.
Big T, heavy on it, not the little one.
Oh,
what would you tell little Roxy?
Little Roxy. Oh my God. I would tell her, the first thing I would tell her is, it's okay to show emotion. Because little Roxy little Keita was just so hard. Like, she just had this whole, I just had this whole like armor around me. And when you have walls and you have things, you can't allow things to come in. Like, it keeps things out, but it also keeps things, like, it also keeps you locked in. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of times when people was trying to teach me, was trying to show me different things, I felt like I knew I didn't want to listen. I would tell her experience is not the best teacher. Like, a lot of people think that, I got to go through. You don't got to go through if you listen.
That's so true.
Like, if you listen and you pay attention, like, you don't know everything. Like, and I would tell her, like, you are, even though you present as so confident and so, like, conceited and this person of, like, you have no worries, like, it's okay to be human. Like, it's okay to show your flaws, because it doesn't make you less of a person. I would tell her, cherish your mother, because your mother gave you some of the best advice that you could ever have. Like, even though you looked at her and you felt like, she wasn't enough, like, you was just angry at her, like, she had so many gems and she was such a dope person, and it was like, you're not gonna have a long, so she not gonna see you be who you need to be. So cherish her, like, while you can. And you're going to have a hard-headed little boy, but that little boy is going to soften you, and he's going to push you, and he's going to motivate you. And you're going to have a lot of disappointments, but your disappointment is going to tell you and show you that you have to rely on God more and not people. You got to rely on him and not yourself. So, yeah, I got a lot. I would tell her so much. And I would hope that she would listen, because if she young, she might not listen. But I would definitely tell her. I would tell her all those things.
Little Keita looking, and she and little Yas, they proud of the outcome.
Right. She probably be like, girl, bye.
Right. I am so proud of what our little selves made us today.
I was just about to
my God, I'm
say
so
that. I was
proud
just about to say that.
Of all of those struggles we talked about, all of the personalities, our childhood. I am so happy we lived the way we did, because had we not lived that way, we might have not been able to coexist with each other the way that we do. So I'm appreciative of our childhoods. I'm appreciative of our upbringing, our parents. I am so appreciative with everything. I appreciate so much now. Like all of the little things, I appreciate it. Like this very moment, I'm so appreciative. Stop crying. With that being said, we're going to close it out on a lighter note. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow us on all Instagram. all social media. I am done, y'all. All social media platforms. Keita, what are they?
Instagram, we pod, we chat. TikTok, we pod, we chat. We on iTunes, Spotify. We pod, we chat.
Don't forget to leave a message in the private chat.
Yes. And you can send us emails at wepodwechat@gmail.com. So if you don't have an Instagram, that's fine. So you can email us. Again, I'm gonna say it slow, y'all.
We meeting y'all where y'all at.
wepodwechat@gmail.com.
I'm so proud of y'all.
I am so happy. Cheers to another episode. And
you gotta cheers me.
Oh, I wanna go.
It's over, baby. It's over.